Tomorrow. Yep. April April 25th, 1991. A legend was born, as some people are starting to call it. And by some people, it's me. Right, right. Well, I think there was an ice storm in Rochester, New York, or around the time I was born. I think that's how the story goes. So, uh, I normally say I bring the heat, but in that case, I was making it sleet. But you gotta love brings down power outages. Hey, yep, going to the Cubs game tomorrow. Found bleacher tickets for about 25 bucks. Can't pass that up. Took a half day off, and yeah, I'm gonna go drink some beers, eat some hot dogs, watch the Cubs. Hopefully beat the Astros. Uh, yeah, yeah, I knew you'd like that one. Wow, that's a heavy accusation. Well, now I gotta top my crowning achievement. I got Bryce Harper to acknowledge me heckling him once in the outfield, so now I got to get one of the Astros to respond to me. That'll be the goal tomorrow. Get one of them. Two bangs, you're trash. One bang, you're really trash. It's supposed to be like 55, sunny. We'll see what the wind's like in the outfield, but no, no. Well, real Chicago people really tell you that it's green all year round, but it doesn't look as green as it did about a month ago. So, right, right. Mercury is in fact in retrograde. Right. Blaming everything on their astrological sign, you know. Right, right, right. Yeah. You could like tag locations and yeah, filters and yeah, yeah. I mean, I agree because I ain't got no fucking neck, so you know that kind of angle don't really show off the goods for Kurt. But you know, right, gone, just gone, right. So as soon as you said the thing about when Facebook came out, I remember it would always say like Kurt Rogers is. You couldn't get rid of the is. Like you had to put something. Like you almost had to be creative. Like so, I'll give it to that, but. You know, obviously, I'm big on Instagram. Obviously, some of this might sound hypocritical because I'm doing this. Um, but I think, to your point, the originality. I think what TikTok to me is it's Vine on steroids. You know, remember Vine? Like, you had to do something cool within, what was it, 6 or 12 seconds? Like, yeah, like that was cool and it forced you to do something. Like now, like TikTok's like a bunch of whatever. I know that, you know, you can't even say it's for the younger generation anymore because, like, I have people in our age bracket or higher, like somebody, oh, look at this TikTok. I'm like, I'm not downloading TikTok. I don't need another app. Like, um, and then again, I think it's just a fad to be a fad. And like, obviously, there's a lot of these kids that are making a lot of money off of it, which again, that's beyond me. You know, like okay, cool, they're shouting out your product, and you're going to pay them that much money for a bunch of clicks, and it leads to a lot of dumb shit. You know, you could convince me that that Tide Pod thing a couple of years back got started on TikTok. Um, but also, it's like, oh, do this challenge. And it's like, well, no, it's a song that's copyrighted by an actual artist. You're doing a bunch of dance moves, and someone else is going to go do it 2 seconds later. Like, I mean, whoever the first person is to do it, cool. Kudos to you. Hats off that you came up with the idea. Fine. Um, I think that's cool, but it's like when you start seeing the same thing 15 times over, it's not like meme templates where you can customize it differently. Like it's the same song, it's the same voice clip. It's again, you in your car, you in your house. Like I think a lot of this was bore out of being bored in the house during COVID. You know, like a lot of this wasn't necessarily like that. Um, and I also got in hot water. There's this girl that she was a friend of a friend, and like me and her went out one time, and she was in marketing, and she was talking to me all about her job, and I love to hear it. And then she was telling me about how she does like book reviews on TikTok. I'm like, well, that's kind of cool. And then she was like, oh, like, what's your presence like on TikTok? And I'm like, why, I don't have one. And that it's non-existent. I don't have a presence. And she was like, oh, well, that's surprising. Like, I follow you on Instagram, and like, seems like you post a lot, or you share a lot. I'm like, yeah, like if something comes by. And she's like, well, what if you're late to like the content? I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, well, anything that you like on Instagram, you're at least a week late. And I'm like, I don't care. Like when it gets to me, it gets to me. And she's like, well, how are people supposed to market to you? I'm like, the normal way. Like, I don't want to be spammed by TikTok and Instagram ads and Facebook ads and, you know, this wherever they're selling my information on the internet. Like, I'm not trying to sound like, no, no, I'm on it. When it gets to me, it gets to me. Like, I'm okay. I'm okay with that. Like, I've never been the person that needs to have the X widget or X material item. Right. Like, right. Whoever's trying to profit off of that, it's going on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and LinkedIn all at one. It's one push. It's one push of the button. And 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 see, that's why I kind of like Instagram a little bit more. Is if you are a content creator, I think there's more that you can do. Again, I don't have a TikTok, so I guess I might be speaking out of my ass, but like I have a lot of friends that are like creative types. I don't necessarily consider myself one, but like you and Ty were always on Instagram and SoundCloud, and I have a friend in college that was a DJ, and he's really good, and he was on SoundCloud. And shouts to my boy Narada. He's a great photographer. He's back in Rochester, and if you're in the area or want to check out his page, he's a great photographer. He does all the different filter creations on his iPad and on his Instagram page, and he models and does all this other stuff. And it's like content creation isn't the same to me. I respect what he does infinitely more than what some of these people do on TikTok. Like it's just I don't know. Like it's an eye test thing or kind of a weird feeling. And I'm not even touching the whole what their involvement is in China. Like that's not even my gripe. Like the government is. Like if the government wants to go there, I'm not. But that's what I'm saying. Like just everyone trying to spam me with a bunch of TikTok stuff. I'm just like, I don't know, man. Like if it's funny, it'll find its way to Instagram, which will find its way to me whenever, and then I'll go and share it to who I want to share it with. Right. I'm sorry, Jesse. Our production quality isn't there yet. I'm still working on a background here. Yeah. Right. Right. Well, there's just a lot of misinformation. Again, social media in general. You can say whatever it is. I think I might even said it on here, but I'm on LinkedIn a lot for work, and that's not what it used to. Like none of it's what it used to be. Like I like these things for the laughs. The shit I send you on a daily basis. Like, I ain't posting anything serious. I'm not sharing anything serious. It's a way to keep in touch with people. Twitter is not that, or X. It's not that anymore. Like, Facebook's not that anymore. Like, it's all look at me, pick me. Again, you could say that about us doing this, but whatever. But like, yeah, I'm not saying, I'm not copying or lip syncing anybody. I'm not trying to get rich off anybody else. Like, right, right. You got to start somewhere. I can tell you for a fact a lot of people don't know how to communicate. Oh my God. My whole, I could tell you for a fact the past three career jobs I've had has just proven to me that it doesn't matter if you're a CEO, COO, president, vice president of some company. You have your function, and anything outside of what you actually want to be doing, you cannot communicate that. Me and my coworker today were talking about how I'm pretty sure certain people don't know how to communicate business pain. I'll talk to a guy and he's like, "Yeah, this is a problem. This is what's going on." I'm like, "Okay, well, how does that affect your business?" And they're like, "Well, I just told you." It's like, no, that's a symptom. That's like that's what went wrong. How is that affecting you elsewise? Like, you're not going to buy from me unless I can understand how I can correlate it to your day to day or your business. And then I have to come up with original content to sell that. Like, and correlating it back to the main topic. But if they ban it or not, I'll laugh because what are some of these people gonna do? Like, what were you doing before TikTok, like, or Instagram, or whatever your content is? But right, unfortunately, that's not gonna happen. Your Giants don't really have a lot to be exciting about. I mean, you guys retooled on the defense, but if you're not, I don't think unless they get like a solid stud out of the draft, receiver or quarterback, what's going to happen? Like, when you got Darren Waller, that's it. I don't know, crazy eyes Daniel Jones. Dude, I just don't think he's it. I mean, you got Drew Lock. You picked up Devin Singletary. He had a good year last year, but I don't know. Drew Lock's got some swag. I think Drew Lock's invited to the cookout. Last time I heard, Drew Lock could be invited to the cookout, but yeah, big pick for your boys. I don't think the Bears are taking them. This city would riot if they did all that and they didn't pick Caleb Williams. Unless they're worried about him being zesty, but I don't know. I don't care if you are or you aren't, but he's a little different. I don't know what it is, but the dude might be wired a little different than most of the city of Chicago. So we'll see how that goes. But if the Knicks get somehow to the finals, hell's gonna break. It doesn't even matter if you win or not in the finals. Hell would break loose with what is it? Deadass Spider Man or whatever they call him. The dude with the Tims and the Spider Man suit. That dude will be just on the garden parading around the country. I think the beauty of the draft is its hope. It's hope for all 32 teams. Everyone's waking up tomorrow. They're getting excited. They're waiting to get off of work. In my case, I'm gonna be probably half in the bag because I was at the Cubs game, and I'm gonna have to wait 2 or 3 hours to get to pick 21 when my Dolphins pick, hopefully, an offensive lineman if I get my birthday wish. But I think the draft is exciting. If you like college football, where your player is going to go. If you're an NFL fan, you've been looking at people, the fantasy implications, for the homies that play fantasy. I think there's again hope is the big driver there, and it's the biggest league. The NFL is the biggest league in the U.S. Uh, they're starting to take it to different places. It's not just at Radio City anymore. It's what in Detroit this year. It was in Chicago a couple years ago. It was in Texas one year, and Pat McAfee and David Akers were trolling the Cowboys fans. Like, I think that's cool. I think it gets fans involved. I think it's an affordable event to go to. I had a friend that went in Kansas City a couple years ago, and they had a great time. I don't know. I think the draft is just as exciting or more than it used to be. But then again, I've always been watching the draft. I remember watching it with my dad and my uncle. Then me and the boys would get together. Shit, me and the boys are still probably going to get together tomorrow. I don't know. The black ones with the blue helmets. Yeah, yeah. And this is a good little pilot for us. We want to start doing different content. Maybe what some of the few people that watch this want to see. Obviously, we try to lean towards the sports, but these are our picks for some of the best unique jerseys over the history of sports. So we could rock through this. It looks like we're gonna go with mine, and I'd like some feedback on if you like something else other than ours. What do the fan? What do the people want? What do the people like? Just as much of a fashion statement as that Gucci bag that you ladies are trying to get, you know? Or fellas, yeah, fellas can have a Gucci purse. It's all Gucci. Not on any of this. Dude, come on, come correct, put some respect on it. It's the Vice Knights jerseys. I know they have a couple iterations of them, but kind of your segue, we're talking about the newer styles of uniforms as we work through this. A lot of these are old school, vintage shit. So this is a fresh one. Hey, go back. Let me talk to it. Let me talk to it. You got the D Wade, the Vice Knights, Wade County. It's slick. If you think of Miami, you think of the colors, you think of, Miami Vice, hence the Vice Knights, the lettering. A lot of good Heat players have wore this over the past couple of years. You got Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo, Hassan Whiteside, D Wade. I think Kyle Lowry was there for a little bit. It's just a sleek look with a little bit of a color. Udonis Haslam was there for a while. What is he, player, coach, owner at this point? He still hasn't retired yet at 45 years old. Dude, I'd be here for it. I'd be here for it. I don't know if the Panthers colorway don't really mesh with it, but right. Next one, we'll move on. I think you got my nice classic one. Got to stand up for Western New York. I do want to say that the Hartford Whalers were an honorable mention here, as well as the old school Vancouver Canucks jerseys. But got to go with the Goat Heads. These were so fresh in the 90s. They brought them back over the past couple of seasons. They made some of the best runs in franchise history. They had Dominic Hasek, arguably one of the top three goalies of all time. You had Pat LaFontaine. You had Alexander McGillney. They had Western New York jumping with these bad boys on, and now that they're coming around again, I think this is unique and pretty slick looking. So that's where I got you on Buffalo Sabres. That's awesome. A lot of them. Half of Charles Barkley, the round mound and rebound. Again, how successful they were for a team that isn't generally that successful. Uh, they're struggling against the Minnesota Timberwolves a little bit right now, but I don't know. This is another unique one. You got the sun, you got it going from bottom right up to top left. Pretty iconic there. I got a few pictures of me with that jersey. That might be hiding out in here somewhere, but I don't know. I think again the unique colors, maybe the peacocking of it, and again those Suns teams are pretty cool in the early to mid '90s. Got the desert, the little desert mountain ranges. Yeah, couldn't get a ring backwards. And then this is my favorite for football. There was a lot in there. There was the old Broncos that was honorable mention. There was the 70s, 80s Dolphins that they bring back for their throwbacks. And I was also thinking about um, a couple others. But if you really get down to it, the Houston Oilers from the 80s, 90s until they became the Tennessee Titans. Again, some pretty marquee players. You had Earl Campbell, you had Eddie George, you had Warren Moon, Steve McNair even wore these bad boys for a while. Warren Moon even kind of revolutionized how you threw the ball a little bit. He had an arm and knew how to sling it. But the powder blues are cool. A lot of people talk about the Chargers powder blues, but I think this is a little bit more simple, and the logos speaks for itself. They even got two franchises arguing over who gets the right to use these as throwbacks. So that's also kind of a cool story with it. The whiteout jerseys, that'd be fresh. See, but when I go to buy it though, like I get it, like if you play for the like whatever team, But like, if I'm gonna go buy a jersey and spend my money on it, I need the colors. I like. Why am I gonna go buy a white jersey? And that's what's weird is so. What is it? Football, football and hockey, the home team, they generally wear their colors. Basketball, baseball, lacrosse, they'll wear their whites at home. And I'm like, why? Like you're the home team. You're the home team. You need to wear your home colors. Like you should like you're in your own building with your own colors. You know, like everyone's got a white jersey. Everyone's got them. That the aways. Hey, we're showing up to your building in white, but you're in our house. You're getting these colors, and they don't bleed. Yeah, right, right, right. That kept with my own team. The only reason I let it slide with my Fins is because of that, and it seems to work. But like after midway through October, if Miami's at home, put on the teals. Put the teal on. Yeah. But again, I'm getting away from liking him a little bit, but Stephen A. Smith kind of put the nail on the head. Like, at least make it harder for me to kill you guys. You know what I mean? Like give me a challenge. Like, and then I think that was it. That was me. Could be. I mean, that was the only one Canadian one, right? But all right, and then what do we got for you? Let's see how much we differ here. I think any Oregon uniform in any sport could have made this list. I think if you're talking about fresh, unique, constant, consistent jersey ways, you got to talk about the Ducks. You know, obviously, the president of Nike came from there, so that's kind of how it goes. But I think they were the first ones that really put on like this, like, hey, we can do so many different things creatively. Um, you praise them for doing it, but you also hate them for doing it because, like, if you want to stay trendy, you're gonna have to buy a bunch of different jerseys now. But nah, these are dope. Yeah. Did you say Paul Correa? Yeah. Did Corey Perry rock those, or was he too late? He came after. Yeah, took it from the Yankees. I'll never knock that logo, like the pretty graphic looking fish, the big fish. It's an F. You can't knock that. Yeah, Warren Sapp, Derek Brooks, Rodney Barber. You didn't like the creams, the creamsicles with the old school pie, the old school Buccaneer on it. I mean, I don't know, man. Right. Absolutely. And again, we're not perfect with this, so we want the feedback. Like, what do you think is just real drippy? Like, let me know. Thank you. I'll tackle Jose Altuve rounding first base, and I'll probably make. Dude, I might be able to take him down pretty good. I probably got a good 100. If I could catch him, Altuve's fucked, dude. Well, you got somebody for sure, Altuve? I gotta get it out. It's out there. There it is. Brought it home. Peace.